year. I didn't really pay attention to them this year. To be honest with you, like, um, but I have, like I said, I'm really starting to get into the girls' college basketball. I didn't really get into it, and I watched the Sweet the not Sweet 16, but the March Madness of it, but I never like really caught the game, so I really wasn't really familiar with Virginia Tech. So, like I said, I was watching. I can't say, oh, I was a big fan of this person on their team. I knew that she was going to do this. I didn't really know the team of Virginia Tech. Like I said, I knew Ohio State team because that's school. That's my school. I love Ohio State, so I follow all their programs, even their rugby and lacrosse teams. But
Yeah.
I follow their programs because I like that school.
Right.
But to sit here and say, oh, I knew Virginia Tech was going to be that team, like I had no idea. Like, again, they're not really, they're not gonna say a small school. Being in women basketball, they're a small school. You know what I'm saying? So they're not really being broadcast on like the ESPNs and the Fox Sports or nothing like that. So you really don't get to see them that much. So they were surprised, and like I said, so I saw like the highlights of the game. I didn't really watch the game. So yeah, but yeah, I will say I thought Ohio State wanted to be UConn. I thought Ohio State would have. I ain't gonna lie, I thought they would have made it to the Final Four.
I thought so too. And they had that baller Amore, and then they had a 6'6" girl. And one thing, Ohio State doesn't have a ton of height, and they put I think a girl that was 6'4" on her, and she was struggling to keep up with her. I can't pronounce her last name. She Russian, but she was struggling to keep up with her. She was struggling on her shot. She had a couple open looks and couldn't knock them down. And Ohio State just went cold, unfortunately. They missed a lot of layups and stuff like that, things that would have kept them in the game. Their full court press wasn't working because Virginia Tech or Morey was able to shoot around it. So they stopped doing that, which had been something very successful against UConn, but UConn was prone to turnovers all season long as well. So they went away from doing the full court press very early in the game because Virginia Tech had demonstrated that they had a way to beat it. So, they got away from that, and then, they just wasn't able to cover Amore. They didn't have that they didn't have the perimeter defense that they kind of needed. They kind of reminded me of the Cavs, giving up those open looks and stuff like that. And she was actually converting. So, I'll give her props. She a little baller out there. I think it's going to be very interesting, because I think the way that you can beat South Carolina, because South Carolina got like a couple girls over 6'5", because I watched the game before Ohio State, and they was just, I think if you can shoot over them, I think you'll be okay.
So, State lost what, 84? It was like
80. It was a 10-point loss.
Okay.
Yeah, 74 to 84.
Okay. So now you got who in the Elite Four?
In the Final Four, it's going to be Louisiana. Yeah. Louisiana, LSU.
Okay.
Virginia Tech.
And Iowa.
Okay. So Iowa plays South Carolina. And they have that baller, Caitlin. I forgot what her name was really quickly. But they got that baller on their team that can shoot really. Caitlin Clark, who's like All-American, I believe. So I think if Iowa can shoot around those trees in there. But all South Carolina's game is they rarely hit a shot from outside. They rarely hit a shot. It's just them 4 players who are over 6 foot tall, just banking layups off the glass.
And win often. Pump your brakes. Listen, I understand Iowa got a good player, and they got a lot of decent role players around her who know their position and plays their position. Don't try to overdo it. South Carolina got a squad full of players. Stars, WNBA stars. Yeah, ain't nobody about to beat South Carolina. I'm sorry. That is the team who, if they lose, I'll be surprised.
It'd be one of the biggest upsets in tournament history.
Yeah.
But I think if you can shoot around them, you can beat them.
Listen, they got towers. Like it's
I know.
Hard to shoot around.
There's 4 girls over 6'5".
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to shoot over them. Like this isn't no Like this isn't the NBA where you got like, okay, 6'5", you're a point guard. This is 6'5", you're a center. Like
Yeah.
these are some big girls, man. I don't see them being. And I mean, they got what 4 6'5" players, and then you got like 2 6'2" players. Like you're not. Yeah, it's not gonna be easy for you. South Carolina is that team. And,
I think it's gonna be a good game, though.
And the thing about it, like, I'm gonna tell you this. I will stand the game because South Carolina this year has been a second half team. Like they start off kind of slow and they get scary, but then the second half come and then they like open the floodgates and then they just blow you out. So I don't see South Carolina losing, but it could be a good game or it could be a bad game.
I think Iowa's gonna give South Carolina as much as they can handle
in the first half. First half.
I mean, nobody in college basketball has all the hype. Yeah. Like it's just crazy.
First half, because South Carolina have struggled in the first half. They have struggled in the first half. So I'm not saying it can't happen. So don't let them fool you. Don't be in the first half like, oh, I told y'all they was gonna lose. Then the second half coming, you like, man, you're gonna be disappointed.
That's how the first half went for Ohio State. I'm like, once they got away and got that lead, I'm like, all right, Bucks, just put more on it and you'll be all right. And that just didn't happen. Yeah. But I definitely think that it's going to be a good game.
You said so. Like I said, I saw the highlights. I didn't really catch the game, so I'm not about to pretend like I did. But you said they went away from their full court press.
Yes, very early. Very early, because Virginia Tech was able to shoot around and they was hitting some threes.
That was y'all bread and butter all year.
Yeah, Amore was the team and that 6'6" girl who could out rebound and all that other stuff. So that was mainly what they did to defeat Ohio State.
I was in that situation. I know people normally hate to do this, but I would have probably lived with you making the three because that probably wouldn't have stayed all game.
Yeah.
So I probably could have lived with you getting hot right now, making a few threes. Because it wouldn't have probably lasted the full game. I wouldn't have went away from my full court press. That really was y'all team all year.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, you don't go from your bread and butter. Like I probably went away from my bread and butter. That was definitely that full court press. Because people get tired. People get tired once when you run that full court press. They eventually wear out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put that on them against Virginia Tech, they probably would have wore out. And you probably could have, probably would have won. I don't think that was a smart coaching play.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody know I'm big on coaches, so I don't think that was a smart coach's move right there. But I understand, like you're like, well, it's not working right now. But like you said they went out of it early. You didn't give it a chance.
Yeah, they went in the full court press in the fourth quarter, but they it didn't work by then. It was too late by then. So.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
I'm really sad though, Eddie.
I know. That's your alma mater.
I was just down there on Friday too.
That's your school. Like we're rooting for them. That's your bread and butter.
Yeah, man.
You are a Buckeye through and through.
Yeah, because I thought that they was gonna make the Final Four. I really did. So
like I say, I definitely I thought it too, especially when they beat UConn. Like I really did think they were going to the Final Four. Beating UConn because I'm like, UConn is that team. Like I think UConn would have probably been the best match for South Carolina. Like so for us to beat them, that was big. You know what I'm saying? So I honestly thought we were going to the Final Four. So but I thought if we would have went to the Final Four. We would have play South Carolina though.
No, our brackets didn't meet up. We would have played LSU.
LSU, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could beat LSU. I think we could beat LSU.
Yeah, I think so too. I haven't had a chance to watch LSU play all year, but like I said, beating that mental hurdle, beating UConn and stuff like that for this program, they was able to finally get past that in a time when it counted the most. So I think they had all the confidence in the world going into that game. And, unfortunately, things just didn't go right. They was able to get a lead, but they wasn't able to build upon that and stay on top of that lead. So, it's just very unfortunate. They had a very successful season. They got up to number 2 in the country. They went 19-0, and that's when I started paying a little bit of attention. I'm like, okay, Buckeyes, here we go. So, it's just sad, but all things come to end. Nothing lasts forever. So, they had a great season. So I'm super proud of them.
Yeah, you gotta respect it. Like you said, had a great season this year. Like, so you gotta respect that much, man. I know in Ohio, we expect the Buckeyes to win everything they do. We don't expect the Buckeyes to ever lose nothing. So it is bittersweet, but I mean, can't be mad at this team. This team went to the Elite Eight. Like
and it hadn't been in 30 years.
That's tough in itself, man. Like to go to an Elite Eight, whether it's boys basketball, girls basketball, to get there, it's tough. We ain't talking to this Michigan fan.
I know. I asked him, did he watch the game last night? He's like, why would I do that?
Yeah.
I don't like Ohio State.
You ain't even look at him. I already knew you were talking crap.
Yeah, man.
He talking to that Michigan fan.
Yeah, man. He tripping. Tripping. But, there's a lot to be proud about.
They're not used to greatness. That's all. They're not used to greatness.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and take our first break. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU at 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
We are Signal Cleveland. I'm Najee Hall, and I look forward to seeing you, in community.
I'm Lila Parker. I look forward to growing with the Central residents.
My name is Tila, and I'll be around the Central neighborhood. Look forward to seeing you outside.
I am Marvetta Rutherford. You may also know me as I'm looking forward to finding out what's important to you. I'm Akita Worley, and I look forward to engaging with everyone from Central Community.
For the next 2 months, you can find us at community events and gathering spaces around Central in collaboration with our radio partner, WOVU 95.9 FM.
And we want to know what's important to you.
We want to understand what issues are important to Central residents so we can report on issues you care about.
Signal Cleveland is a community-centered newsroom, and our name is a nod to Garrett Morgan, the noted Cleveland inventor and businessman. Among his many successful inventions was the 3-position traffic signal
Garrett Morgan.
Which influenced the traffic signal we use today. Morgan also started the newspaper that eventually became the Calling Post. Now that's shown up history, and it's our history.
Najee again. Signal Cleveland is also.
We talk a little men's when we come back. Talk a little men's.
Cleveland, one of the station of Hope on the Railroad, was the last stop of
Yeah.
Look for our Crossroads logo at community event near you.
I'm Lila Parker.
And I'm Najee. Tell us what's
what was I about to say?
At 216-220.
The boys tournament is wide open. I'm just glad that the Blue Bloods are out.
No Blue Bloods for the first time in forever.
I'm just
saying.
saying.
Miami winning. I think Miami gonna win. A lot of people rooting for the underdog, which would be Florida.
Yeah, I'm just sad that they got to play San Diego State.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they,
So
played in the final. All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I'm here with the front man, Eddie Scott, and we are just talking a little bit NCAA basketball. We don't really give it the time that it deserves, but right now it's tournament time, so it is an important time. And hey, Brandy.
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We doing all right.
Can't complain. They won't let us.
Yeah, I know. Can you hear us, Brandy?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. So one of the things that we were just talking about Ohio State's loss to Virginia Tech. Did you get a chance to watch that game at all?
I did watch some of it, but they had a really good season. They'll be back next year, so they shouldn't be disappointed in their loss because, a lot of people thought they wouldn't even get to the Elite Eight, and Ohio State hasn't done it in years, so they had a really good season.
30 years to be exact.
Right.
So that's a long time. That was before you was born. Eddie was just in diapers at the time. Heaven was nowhere thought of. Yeah, and I was in high school. I was a freshman in high school at the time. So that was a long time ago, and I'm dating myself, which is, it is what it is. But we're going to move on to the boys. And right now, the Final Four is wide open. So there's no blue bloods in the Final Four at all, which is something that's kind of crazy to me, but I never root for them. So I'm glad that they're not there. So your field consists of San Diego State, Florida Atlantic University, Miami University, and what's the last school?
And it's, you got Miami
UConn.
And Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, so I'm not rooting for UConn. I don't want them to win because they already have
I think
national
Miami gonna win.
championships.
I got Miami winning.
Really?
I have Miami winning. I know they're going to get UConn. They're going to get UConn.
Yeah, they're playing
They're
UConn.
going to get UConn. I think they're going to beat UConn. If they beat UConn, they will win.
Okay.
I don't want UConn to win, so I'm not rooting UConn.
Yeah, because they got some national titles already.
Yeah,
so I love the schools that don't have national titles.
I mean, you got two true underdogs.
Yeah.
In the Final Four.
Yeah.
First of all, everybody's bracket was over after the first 2 days. But
First day.
Well. Yeah,
Throw your bracket away. That's why I don't do brackets.
Yeah, it was horrible. I mean, I looked at my bracket like, it wasn't even close. It was bad. I mean, everybody was going down. Every big name school you thought had a chance was going down. So, like I said, I got Miami winning. I think Miami is a pretty good school. I mean, good team. I was surprised that they were actually as good as they are. I didn't really follow them this year until the tournament time. You see highlights here and there, like on ESPN, but I didn't follow Miami this year at all until tournament time, and they really surprised me. I mean, they play like this all year long. I can understand why they're there.
Yeah, and Brandy, what's your pick for the national champion?
I'm going with Miami too. I think they've had a really good year. They've been able to beat some tough teams. It's also crazy that this is the first time ever that a first seed isn't in it as well.
First, second, or third.
Mm-hmm.
So that's history for you.
That is a mind-blowing fact right there.
Yeah, and I don't know if something like that will ever happen again. And we can look at each other and be like, remember 2023 when there was no first, second, or third left? So that is historical in its own right. But I don't have Miami winning. I have Florida Atlantic winning. So they'll face Miami. They're honestly the true underdog. San Diego State too. So
San Diego State is true underdog.
I wish they didn't have to play each other in the national semifinal.
So it could be two underdogs.
Yeah, two underdogs in the championship.
That's two small schools, I should say.
That's what I would like to see.
Now this is the thing. See, I think you're only going for these teams because they're a small school. Because let's be honest, they're not going to beat Miami. Have you seen Miami play?
They wasn't supposed to beat anybody else, but they have.
That's true. I'll give you that argument. But Miami is really good. Like they play like they're probably the most complete team I've seen in the tournament this year. I mean, overall, most complete team.
I have my hatred for other schools. I don't really hate Miami that much. We was able to win a national title against them.
National championship.
So I don't really hate them, but I just don't want them to win.
I mean, I used to want to go to Miami. I ain't gonna lie. I used to want to go there. You so bad.
I used to want to go to Florida State because of Charlie Ward. Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna apply to Florida State.
Ray Lewis is my favorite player of all time. Like he was my guy. So I'm like, I saw Ray Lewis playing for Miami. I'm like, I want to go there.
Did you ever see that 30 for 30 on them?
Oh, Ray Lewis. Oh, Miami.
Oh,
yeah.
you?
Did you see? Oh, yeah. I definitely saw
yeah.
it. And I love Ohio State. Don't get me wrong. Ohio State is always gonna be my school. You know what I'm saying? Even though I went to another school, I love Ohio State. But to be totally honest, if I could have went to Miami, probably would have went to Miami. Probably would have went to the just because that was a dope school. It just looked fun. It was in Miami. So, but you can tell you're going to get in a lot of trouble down there. So I'm glad I didn't. Thank you. Jesus. Jesus. Probably would not be here right now if it was not.
Well, first of all, it rains every day in Miami around 4 o'clock.
And then it get dry.
The humidity.
How about it get dry by 4:05?
The humidity is, my God, some of the worst I've ever experienced. And the bug bite.
I mean, they don't have normal bugs either. They got like these big, like hissing cockroaches.
Yeah.
They're huge. I mean, that had nothing to do with sports. But
I went to a conference there in Miami, and I was there for 5 days. And when I landed back in Cleveland, I said some words I never thought I'd ever say. And I said, I'm so happy to be home.
Oh, you hear me say that all the time. But it's weird because like certain things, like things down there that we be like, oh my God, what the heck? It's normal to them. Like I said, roaches. That is. Oh my God! Like,
you been in Miami before?
Oh man, Miami. I've been to Tampa. I've been to Orlando. This
too.
This is normal for them. Jacksonville. Like
I been to Jacksonville.
Oh, Jacksonville is just that's Cleveland, just in the hot area.
Duval.
Oh my.
Brandy, you ever been to Miami before?
I have. I love it there.
I'm not gonna say I love it. Like I said, I wanted to play for the school. I don't really love. Most places that people like love to go visit, like the Miamis, like the Vegas. I don't really care about those places. Like I don't know why. Like I don't really like it ain't my like, oh, I need to go visit. I was just I never been, so I wanted to go. But like my favorite place in Florida will probably always be Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa's nice.
I love Tampa.
And the water's so clear you can see your feet.
Yeah, Tampa's beautiful. Clear water. Here I come. I'll be back down.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and move on. We got a couple of minutes before we take break, but let's go ahead and move on to the NBA because we're almost there. So the Cavs have a huge game against the Atlanta Hawks tonight. Yes. The last time they went into Atlanta, because I'm like, I don't remember when the Hawks came here. The last time they went into Atlanta, they got beat by almost 30 points. Yeah, we got whooped on every aspect. It was like every shot was falling that night. Brandy, how important is it that they get this game tonight?
Yeah, it's definitely, important as, the season's almost over. There's only a few games left. And, we have struggled against Atlanta and playing them last year in the play-in. We struggled then. So, hopefully we're able to get this win because it'd be a big win to, get us above Philly in the standings.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And what's so funny, which this was Philly don't surprise me because I've been saying it on our show, on the Max show. I've been saying it here. I knew Philly was gonna implode. They do it every year. It's no secret from them. Like when people pick them to go to the finals, I said they're not gonna even make it out the second round because that's what they do. They get there, they implode. It never fails. But what catches me, do y'all think that for this particular Cavalier team that the Atlanta Hawks is our kryptonite?
No.
Because we were the Raptors, like LeBron was on our team. We was like we was everybody on the East kryptonite. But you got that one team that no matter how good your team is, they struggle against this one particular team. Do you think that's the Atlanta Hawks for us?
Brandy, what you think about that?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think we do struggle against them a lot of times when we should win, and we do seem to have trouble when we are playing against Trae Young. Most times, he's having over 30, 35 points against us.
Yeah. I wonder why, because we're a much better team. Like on paper, we're a much better team, I should say.
Yeah, I don't feel like they're our kryptonite because I think one of the things is like JB has said about that game against the Warriors, like the Cavaliers wasn't respecting the game of basketball, meaning that they just thought that they was going to walk in there and win it. And I think, we play down to lower teams. And I think that's something that happened because Atlanta really hasn't been good. They made the playoff a couple years ago, but they really haven't been that great. Yeah. So I think lots of times we play down at a level just thinking that we're going to walk in and get an easy victory. And it hasn't happened sometimes.
So if your theory is correct, then so is that the team or is that something the coaches need to work on?
something that coaches need to work on in the mentality of the players.
Okay.
You know, because that Golden State game should have been a game that was never lost. That Boston game, where they sat Jason Tatum, yeah, that shouldn't have been as close as it was. We shouldn't have needed overtime to beat them. But, you know, once again, I think that they came in there with the attitude like we're going to beat Boston because they don't have Jason Tatum. And you know, unfortunately, we prevailed.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that they're our kryptonite just yet, you know. So I think that this is a pretty big game and a pretty big road game. And what did I say the Cavs? How many wins did I say the Cavs was gonna have?
You gave them a nice number. You said 50.
I said they'll have over 50
over
wins.
50 wins, right? You said over 50 wins.
Mhm.
By mistake.
I said they at least get to 50 wins.
Yeah.
And are we one game away? I think.
One game away.
Yeah. So this
They
is
have 48 and 28.
okay.
2 games away. But the season might be. They gotta wait. The season coming close to the end.
Yeah, I think they'll be able to do it. You know, they play Charlotte at the very end, but they'll probably be set and they play Orlando twice on the road, which is you know, one of the worst teams in the league. So I definitely feel like they'll be able to get to at least 50 wins, and that's something that
they get to 50 exactly.
We say the Knicks Friday will be a huge game.
Knicks is on fire right now.
Yeah,
Knicks is playing really good basketball. They're playing really good basketball. But one thing I saw about the Knicks that keeps showing me something that if you take Randall out the game, you can beat them. Like I mean, I already feel we could beat them, but I realize they run everything through Randall. And if you take him out the game, it's kind of like they don't know what to do. It's like they slow down, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, Randall gonna get his points, but even the offense run through him. Like, you know, he facilitates the offense, which is kind of crazy.
Didn't the Knicks lose to the Magic the night that we beat the Nets? So y'all out there losing to Orlando and stuff like that. So I definitely think that we should be able to beat the Knicks. It'll probably be a close game, but Cleveland has to go in there with the attitude like, you know, this is important. And I understand them sitting players, you know, towards the end of the regular season, but you know, there's still some games.
I'm sorry. Like, I know like that's the case because we made the playoffs. I respect it, but I don't think we're too young to sit players. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have that veteran presence to be like, okay, you can sit down and be prepared for the playoffs. And, you know, like, if LeBron was here, you can sit LeBron and let him rest. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows he's been here before. A lot of these guys is fresh. They've never been to the playoffs. You know, they've been to the play-in, but that's not really the playoffs. You know? So I don't think we're at that point where we should be sitting players. But I know the game of basketball is similar to the game of football. You sit your stars when you secure a spot. But in basketball, you're a game and a half from a certain position, or you're a game and a half from a lower position.
Yeah,
I'm not sitting my players. I'm trying to win all the games that I can.
Yeah, I think seeding is important because they right there on the heels of, you know, Philly, and Philly doesn't have the easiest schedule going forward. And they just came off that road trip. I don't know if they won last night, but they were they had lost like 3 out of that 4-game road trip. So if they lost last night, they've lost 4 out of 4. So that's a great thing for the Cavs, you know. Yeah, but
they lost by 5.
Yeah, but I thought they lost last night.
Okay. So we're a game and a half. So it's important for them to go out and win this game tonight. You know, then you're half a game behind.
Yeah, so they lost by 5, right? So now with that being said, so you're a game and a half behind them. Do you sit them? And actually, they're 49 and 26. We're 48 and 26. So so they got a game over us. So do you sit? Why sit? Like, why sit your players?
I wouldn't sit any of them. They making too much money.
That's facts.
You know, you only got to work for 2.5 hours, if that, out of the day for 6 months. Man, you better get out there and play some basketball.
Yeah, listen, I'm in total agreement with you. You won't hear me arguing that point. Get out there, play.
Oh, Brandy, before we go to break, who do you have winning the women's title?
Oh, geez. I don't know now. I'm sad Ohio State is out of it. But let's see.
So you got South Carolina,
LSU.
LSU, Iowa, and Virginia Tech.
I'm going to go with LSU.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a
Well, I told Eddie that if you can shoot around South Carolina, because they got like 5 players that are over like 6'5", I believe if you can shoot around them, you can beat them.
yeah. And if it was a fifth, we'd all be kind of happy, wouldn't we?
You said if it was a 5th.
If it was a fifth, we'd be all happy.
All right, we about to go to break. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Without us, definition of a song service. Friday and Saturday, March 31st and April 1st. Live at the First Baptist of Greater Cleveland in Shaker Heights, Ohio. Friday night, featuring the Bolton Brothers. Get ready for a life-changing experience.
You know, the 76ers lost. They ain't even having beat last night, though.
You said they what?
They didn't have them beat last night. They lost.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm about to say beat. I would have. It's something to his calf or his ankle. Something wrong with him. I know. Either his calf messed up or his ankle messed up. Something wrong with him. He's out, sure.
Saturday night, see Brian and faithful. 2 days of an explosive spiritual experience.
For more information, visit
Bookstore in Cleveland, eventbrite.com/gospelkid. Call Pastor Banks at 216-544-0424. That's 216-544-0424. Or visit gospelkid.com. This service has been brought to you by Magnet Cleveland. Make them know your name. Sharon King's Funeral Services. Jules and his crowd. Gospel music hosted on Society. True by Hilton. Retro Health System and Gospel Kid Communications.
along with WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United.
What you laughing at?
Community Radio. All proceeds benefit Peace Foundation.
Well, friend sent me this, and it's ignorant over here. Press play. Oh, you better go back online. Yes, sir.
Yo,
No.
listen up. So many of our daily activities are now
Press
made
play.
easier by using a computer and
You
internet.
gotta read the
You
discussion.
want to
Press play.
schedule a doctor's
Press middle.
appointment, take a class, check the final score for your favorite team. Life
watching
is easier when you do it all from your home on your computer. Find out how you can get a home internet and it's your money. Contact Digital Navigator today.
So ignorant.
We'd be so happy though.
Man, listen.
6990.
It's free.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. I'm here with the front man, Eddie Scott and Brandy Fairfax. And always remember, you can keep it right here locked on your regular radio dial at 95.9 FM. You can download the WOVU app and listen to us on the go. You can also listen to us online at WOVU.org. And you can always call the station with any questions, comments, or concerns at 216-271-0959. And we were just talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers and the big game that they have coming up. So right now they're on a 5-game win streak, which I didn't even really realize. So that's a good thing going into the playoffs. And what I was looking at today is the injury report lists Allen and Okoro as starters, but they're saying that they're not going to be playing in the game tonight because they're injured. So, excuse me, I guess we'll see come game time what's going on.
They list them as starters.
Yeah, but also list them on the injury report too.
That's I didn't know they were injured. I thought they were playing tonight, but okay. They both out. That's gonna be. Corey ain't no big hit, but
Yeah.
but Allen is.
Yeah, Jared Allen for that rim protector.
Yeah, Allen's a big hit, man. We need him. Allen have definitely shown me something different this year. And I really appreciate him playing as hard as he's been playing for the Cavs. Like seriously, like especially after the trade, like getting him. Not sure if he really wanted to play here or not. I didn't really like look into it. I just like, oh, that's a good pickup when we got him.
Because the comments that he said the other night.
Yeah. So for him to come and ball the way he's been balling, I do respect it though.
Yeah, Brandy, did you hear his comments the other night?
I did not.
Well, he kind of talked about when he came here, like there was nothing to play for and it was kind of bad, So, I think, he probably didn't have the wherewithal to realize, that Kobe has made some moves, and he ain't playing it safe and he in it to win it. So, that huge trade for Donovan Mitchell, it might have been sucky, the year before, and there was some progress, last year. Unfortunately, they kind of collapsed towards the end in these playing games that they should have won. But, you can see them steadily improving as to where we're at, because I know we're going to get 50 wins. I just know it's going to happen. And making a playoffs. I'm very proud of that prediction too. And they have a playoff spot clinched. So he might not have saw that, but you got to know that you're eventually playing towards something. And it was bad when he first came here, but now they're doing good and he's back in the playoffs. So that's something that he should definitely be excited about. So I got a question for y'all. Do y'all think Joel Embiid should be the MVP over Jokic?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll tell everybody, as you see, without Joel Embiid, there is no 76ers team.
Yeah.
He is the 76ers. Without him, there is no team. He is a true MVP. And he pretty much doing it by himself. Mm-hmm. He's showing you, and his numbers are pretty much the same as Joker's. Yes, absolutely. He is the MVP, and he's the best big man in the game right now.
Mm-hmm. I fail to be able to disagree with that statement. So I definitely think so. Obviously, I see Joel Embiid play when he plays against the Cavs a little bit more than Jokic, but Joel Embiid is just, phenomenal player. Just, he's spot up for three. You can't control him, in the low block area. He hits all his free throws. He blocks. So, it's just he's a complete player. So, Brandy, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think, Joel will definitely be MVP this year. Joker, I believe he may have more double-doubles, but other than that, Embiid's been unstoppable, especially this year. So I think he's going to win it. But Isaac Okoro is out because he has knee soreness. And then I saw Jared Allen is out because of his groin.
Okay. All right, so they are out. Okay. But to add back to your point though, when I watch, I also look at head-to-head matchups.
Mm-hmm.
When Embiid played Joker head-to-head, Embiid dominated him. There is nobody in the NBA right now, and I'm putting it on that can stop Embiid. Mm-hmm. Nobody. Like if Embiid wanted to go for 60, he can. Defense is great. He played great defense. He got great offense. He got a great mid-range. Like you said, one thing that big man don't normally do is hit free throws. He can do it. He can shoot the three. You can't. Okay, I'm gonna stop him from going in with the Greek freak. If you stop him from dunking, which is hard, or laying it up, pretty much can slow him down. Mm-hmm. You can't do that with Embiid. Mm-hmm. Embiid gonna beat you inside, outside, and like I said, his defense is. When you see him on that block, you don't want to come down there, and he can play the three ball too. Mm-hmm. So you really, in my opinion, you have the MVP right there. Mm-hmm. And your team is totally when Joker is out, the Nuggets is still a good team. Mm-hmm. When Embiid is out, you see the difference night and day. Like it's night and day. They go on a 5-game losing streak when Embiid is out. Mm-hmm. Like, That's MVP. That's who's the MVP right there.
Yeah, he's developed into a nice player as much as I hate Philly.
Yeah.
So LA Lakers are in the ninth. No, they're in ninth place
right now. Yeah.
So
making the play.
Brandy, you think that they're gonna be able to make the playoffs? You think they're gonna be able to get some more wins and actually make it to the playoffs and not the play-in game?
Let's see. They play Chicago next and then Minnesota. Hopefully they'll be able to. The rest of their schedule is, pretty teams that are like them. So hopefully, they'll be able to, and then they'll be able to get LeBron back.
Listen, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Brandy. They will make the playoffs. And I'm on your Lakers fan because LeBron is going to be honest with you. Not a fan.
I'm still not a fan of the Lakers. I'm a fan of LeBron.
I'm a fan. Well, and LeBron played for the Lakers, so therefore I'm a Lakers fan until LeBron decides to go away from the Lakers. So unless he go to Golden State, now if he go to Golden State, I would never like him. But as long as he on the LA Lakers, I am purple and gold. So therefore, they will make the playoffs.
I've only seen the Lakers 3 times this season. Both times that the Cleveland Cavaliers played them, and that night that LeBron captured the scoring titles. Because I be in bed. I can't watch the Lakers.
They came on Lakers. Yeah, I'm not in bed. I'm at work, so
yeah,
I'm not watching TV. I'm working.
Yeah, I'll be knocked out. So
I'll tell you this, I think it was last night or night before last when they lost. They lost on the buzzer beater.
Oh, really?
Against Chicago, and Chicago beat them in the last second. Chicago won, and one of the announcers was making fun of Shannon Sharp. Like he started doing Shannon Sharp like on air, like while in the middle of talking about the game. He started talking about the game like he was Shannon Sharp. It was one of the funniest moments of the. I'm like, man, dude, the game was great, but he just stole the moment right there because he sounded just like Shannon Sharp, and of course. Shannon Sharp was at the game. Of course, he always at the game. But I was dying laughing. Like, he like, listen here, Skip, listen here. Even though LeBron ain't playing, Chicago beat us. I love Chicago now.
And Shannon Sharp love him some LeBron. Yeah.
He is hands down the biggest LeBron fan.
Yeah, he don't play that Jordan mess. He love him some LeBron.
He will argue. And he make valid points, but I will say I am now on the Jordan bandwagon of Jordan
Brandy, where you at on this?
I was a LeBron hater, but I have changed my heart.
Of what? Who's better?
Yeah, I don't really have this debate because they played in different eras, different positions.
That's how I feel.
But you can still be the greatest, no matter what position you play.
I think they are both great in their time that they played.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we say that Michael Jordan was the greatest shooting guard ever, and LeBron is the best ever.
But LeBron played every position, though. He played.
Jordan didn't.
No, he stuck to shooting guard. LeBron played power forward, center. He literally played every position.
Yeah.
He played point forward now.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is this. The reason why I give it to Jordan now, and this is strictly not LeBron James.
Raymond James, get it right.
He doesn't. I hate to say this. Because if Randy listening to this, he go. I ain't gonna hear the last of it because he.
You want me to record it and send it to him?
No, don't record this.
Okay.
The reason why I'm giving it to Michael Jordan, as Michael Jordan being the best greatest of all time, is because LeBron James does not play defense, and he chose to sit out when he's not hurt. I'm done.
What?
I had to say it real fast already. He chose to sit out when he's not hurt. LeBron don't play all the games like he can, and some people say because of his age, but.
Do you think LeBron having less ring matters?
No, I don't care about the rings. If that's the case, I tell everybody, rings doesn't matter because if that's the case, Michael Jordan won't be the greatest.
Yeah, because that's what people bank. The majority of people bank their arguments on rings.
Bill Russell has more rings, and he was a great player. I mean, even though he played against less talent, but you can say that about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan played against less talent than LeBron.
And I think that look at the teams that LeBron James, tugged along to the finals. So compared to the teams that Jordan had. So, I think that that's a feat in itself.
The problem about
I'm
LeBron,
renewable.
Yeah. The problem about LeBron though, LeBron don't make people better around him. And that's something that Michael Jordan did. Michael Jordan made Pippen better. You know what I'm saying? Pippen wasn't who he was before Jordan. Jordan made Pippen better. And that's the argument that I give about LeBron. LeBron don't make you better. He gonna
everything runs through him.
Correct. Let me trade you off. Let me trade you off and get somebody better than you instead of making you better as a player. Which will, if you'd have made players around him better, I would have been like, yeah, LeBron is definitely the GOAT. But the reason why he's not the GOAT is because he doesn't make players around him better.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take our final break. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. We will be right back.
Hello?
This is filth y'all
Timothy
talking
L.
about.
Tramble Jr.
Huh?
J.
What is filth
Memorial
y'all talking about?
Scholarship is
About
expected
MJ.
now.
I ain't saying nothing.
Michael Jordan.
I don't have an argument with people.
I don't think that's the stupid argument.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest argument I ever heard in my life.
Huh?
The dumbest argument I have in my life.
What?
This
We had the Michael
$2,000
Jordan
scholarship.
I'm part of the Jordan crew now, man.
Are you a recent high school grad?
Now.
With a 2.2 GPA?
Because, man,
Are you
I was actually watching like the highlights of
Cleveland State University, Central State University, or any other HBCU?
You know, Chris, I was arguing LeBron for life. And I'm about to tell you, man, I was watching this, I was watching these highlights, and then I was listening to all the people, like, they were talking about how great LeBron was, but then, and ever since, they all said, but he didn't make me better.
He
He didn't make them better as players. Like, it was like one thing, a lot of superstars, his peers are saying, as good as LeBron is talent-wise, like, he was like, but he didn't make me better.
Play one more. Play that one.
I already played that.
Play it again because that couch is coming up. No, that one. Couch is coming up.
It's like when I was playing with him, he didn't make me a better player. You know what I'm saying? Like where you hear Jordan people, you watch that Jordan.
Yeah, I watch all of them.
How they were like, oh, Jordan made me better. Like if I didn't make that shot, Jordan was in my ass.
So
Jordan punched me in the face.
So here's, and I agree with you. So here's the argument you get from the pundits, not the players. Like pundits are saying LeBron made everybody better. They'll say that. They'll say they made them players better. But we go to the stats, it actually doesn't.
Correct.
People's stats actually
went down with LeBron.
Because they got to change their game.
They have to change, because if you watch the way LeBron played, it was a spread court. It wasn't moving.
Correct.
Everything went through him on both sides of the ball.
Yes, Jordan had to try, but it worked to Jordan's favor, because if not, it would have held him. What made Jordan so great was he adapted to that movement of those offenses.
Correct.
So, okay, I have to dig it in here and move and come back. Yeah, I know these moving ways.
He's not about to stand around while he's not about to watch me.
Because they had to move.
Correct.
So he's able to get there, and they couldn't sag off and zone up or however they were going to do. Like, they couldn't double him. They couldn't double Mike because everybody was moving.
Yeah. And see, like, if you watch the game with the Lakers right now, the Lakers have went on a win streak when LeBron was out. And they be like, damn, like, because they moving the ball now. It ain't just giving LeBron his game.
And not the head on LeBron game. LeBron game worked 10 years ago.
Correct. But that ain't going to work now. That's the thing. Like, can't adapt it. So that's the only reason I gave it to Mike. Hope that wasn't recorded. Hope they didn't hear that.
You said hello.
I know,
It got picked up. Welcome back to Her and the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. This is the First Lady of Sports, Brandy Fairfax, and Eddie Scott, the front man. And I got to get to George's comment, and it was about NCAA, and I didn't get a chance to read it. But he said, today's buzzword is parity. This is my conclusion to this year's men's NCAA tournament. So I think that's all we have for Cavs talk. So one of the things that I am super excited is that baseball will be here in 2 days. And unfortunately, we got some pretty bad news coming out of training camp. And Tristan McKenzie is possibly be out for up to 8 weeks. Right now, they're talking about 2 weeks. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to – unfortunately, I think it's going to be longer than that, sadly. So that's a huge blow to our rotation because we already have a very shaky rotation towards the end of it with Zach Plesac, Aaron Savali, and Cal Quantrell. So, I have some concerns about the back end. Shane Bieber has been lights out, of course, as always, but I do have some concerns in the back of the bullpen. Brandy, how bad will they miss Tristan?
Yeah, I think they're going to miss him, a lot. You look at our starting pitchers, and besides, Shane, Tristan would probably be, the next best that we have right now. So they're definitely going to miss him, and it does look like it's a tough injury that he's going to be dealing with. So like you said, I expect it to be, longer than the 2 weeks. They're saying it could be up to 8 weeks, which that's going to be, the first 2 months of not having him in the season is going to hurt.
Yeah, it's going to hurt a lot. He was just 6 pitches in when he had to leave, so didn't get a chance to continue the game, and he was struggling a little bit in spring training. So you hope that he'd come back around for the start of the season, but you're not even going to have him. So that totally sucks. One of the things is I forgot to talk about. So we open up against Seattle, then we go. I forgot where we go after Seattle. We are on the road again still, and we have a home opener on Good Friday, which is April 7th, against the Seattle Mariners. So we'll be seeing them very soon. Seattle's a very good team, made it to the playoffs last year. Unfortunately, they got bounced by the Houston Astros, but they are a very good team. So it's going to be interesting, and this year's format, how you play all the teams in Major League Baseball more than one time, which I think is completely awesome. I love interleague play and all that other stuff. That's like my favorite. So I think it's super cool that, you're going to be playing every team, and that'll be a good measuring stick for where you are when you play against some of the better teams in the National League as well. So do you guys think that they will repeat as Central Division champions?
Yes, I definitely do. I'm sorry, go ahead, B.
Oh, I think so too. I think, especially adding batters into the bottom of the rotation, which was something that they definitely struggled with. So I think they definitely should be repeat.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Like I said, I definitely think wholeheartedly that they will repeat. As Brandy just said, we added batters at the back end of our lineup, which is something we were missing at something we were missing last year, which cost us a lot of games. Because we had a heavy, strong front end, but then our back end was trash.
Nobody to drive them home.
Nobody to drive us home. So now that we added that, I definitely think this. With our pitching, I think we're gonna have decent pitching this year. I think we're gonna make some noise, man. Y'all know I don't really like talking about the Guardians until like after the All-Star break, because that's when you see who they really are. But this year, I feel that we're gonna make some noise.
But it's so many good parts before we get to All-Star break.
Yeah, but we always decent before All-Star break. Then the floodgate either open or it falls out. Something happens, but I think we're gonna be good this year, all the way through and through. I'm rooting for us.
Okay, I'll take that.
Through and through.
I ain't gonna
give y'all the number of wins that we're gonna have.
That was my next question. You gotta give us something.
I'm not.
You gotta give us something.
Oh, man.
No, you can't get out of that, man. You gotta give us something. Do we have over 90 wins?
Over 90 wins. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we have over 90 wins. Oh, that's a lot of games, though.
Mhm.
Yeah, over 90 games. Over 90 wins, for sure.
Mhm.
But we have some true tests. Like you said, we play every team Major League this year, more than once. So it's gonna be a true test of who we are. So playing the NL teams, which, like you said, I love watching the mix-ups of the games, out of your league games, which is great. So yeah, I got us over 90 wins, and I didn't want to say because I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, you made me.
Brandy, where you at?
I think so. I think they can get 95 or 100. They had 92 last year, so I'm hoping we can get a few more wins.
I'm putting it out there now. I'm going for over 100 wins.
I heard it. Y'all heard it here. And I'm gonna believe it because she has been on point lately. So I'm gonna rock with her.
Yeah,
I'm gonna rock with her. She's been on point lately. So
yeah, I'm going over 100 wins. And when they got over 100 wins, they played in the World Series. Unfortunately, they weren't able to pull it out because of certain factors.
I'm about to say, yeah, things happen.
Yeah, but
unseeable things happen.
But they won. Well, no. So they were in in the ALCS. Had they been able to beat the Yankees, if Cal Contrail didn't screw things up, we could. It would be a different story right now because I think we would have fared better with small ball against Houston. So that's our time. So for Brandy, for Eddie the front man, for Rachel Hill, you've been listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM, and we out of here.
Peace. That's 100% true. We should have beat the Yankees.
Was you hearing something funny?
No, I didn't.
Okay, because I was struggling to hear her. I could a little bit, but I was struggling because
perfect.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, cool. All right, Brandy, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you later.
Okay, yeah, bye.
Okay, bye.
Today I got Hitman Holler coming in.
Really?
Yeah.